Greetings and salutations, one and all. Welcome to the show. It's the night shift to DJ Kevin Stew. A brand spanking new week of the night shift right here. Want to say big ups to everybody who have it locked right now, locked and loaded. Of course, big ups to those tuned in on TuneIn Radio by way of the night shift to DJ Kevin Stew, Ratterbox.net. All the Ratterbox affiliates that are carrying this show. Jumping across the pond, BPR, Big People Radio, One Harmony Radio, skipping back across to South Florida, ClintonLindsay.com, the Foundation Radio Network. Glad to have you. Couldn't do it without you. And you know what? I wouldn't even try. Queen of Bacchanal. Kicking it up with a little Destra tonight. Soca in my life, you know how I feel. With you by my side, you know how I feel. Because you are the glue that holds me. The track is called Family. Talking about family. I want to say a blessed earth beat to my brother from another mother, Marlon, the one and only Marlon Burrell, host of Real Rockers, giving tribute to all those other people celebrating birthdays today. Big ups to my family, Marlon. Blessed earth beat to you, bro. Up inside me, I'm holding on. Thought I forgot, huh? Don't keep me ha ha ha. When the tension rises, you are my stuff. Family. When you make me feel this way. Yeah, my stuff got family. I know the good thing about family. It spreads far. It spreads wide. Family is like community. With family, there are no borders. And with the global community, no real borders. Some people you can do without having in your family. Some people you can do without having as neighbors. But still, family. I want to say thanks to Pulse Media Group for sponsoring this segment of the show. When being in a moment is priceless. If you want a moment like this that you're watching right here on kevinstew.com, you definitely want to link Pulse Media Group. Give them a call, 754-999-6020, and tell them DJ Kevin Stew sent you. greetings to the happy one. Hashtag happy. I have a lot to be happy for tonight. Loving it. The blessings will come and will continue to come. Marlon, your Earth date. Hashtag happy getting blessed with things. Let me tell you, it's joy all over for me. All over. All right. Now, outside of that, I want to welcome my family from my homeland who has been gracious enough to share of his wealth of knowledge, his expertise, and be a part of this show each and every Monday. Well, most of them anyway. All of them that he's available and I'm available. I welcome, no, not even introduce, is no stranger to the show. It's his segment. The legal segment for the diaspora, or host, or presenter, or brother. Owen K. Ferguson, Esquire.
Yes, sir. Evening, Kev. Evening to the listeners.
Blessings, brother. How you doing, man?
I'm good. Doing well.
Excellent. Every time I talk to somebody out of Jamaica and they say they're doing well, they're good, it's a good day.
Oh, yeah.
Because we have some rough days in Jamaica. And not to say that anything is wrong with Jamaica and you shouldn't go to Jamaica. No. Not saying anything like that at all. All I'm saying is we can have some rough days in Jamaica. So
yeah, but we're tough people, We're resilient. And,
yes.
We're positive and upbeat, and we take everything with a stride and a smile. You know that about us.
Exactly. You punch the left cheek, we turn the right cheek. I say punch this one too. Watch out though. There may be reflex action coming after the second one. But
for sure.
We'll take it. Take a licking and keep on ticking.
Oh yeah. That's us.
Right. So what do you have for us tonight, Owen?
Alright, so this evening I want to go right back to basics. Last week we spoke about counseling and what came out of it, out of a discussion even after that, just prompted me to say, how do you, as an individual with a legal problem or a legal question or concern, how do you engage an attorney?
Mm-hmm.
What are the things to look for in selecting an attorney or a firm to represent you?
Yes.
And, what are the steps? How do you go about that whole process of engaging with a legal officer or a firm here in Jamaica? So I said, we covered this topic very, very early, a few months back, but I think it's time to revisit it.
Yes.
And just remind your listeners here, as well as out in the diaspora, how to and what to look for as they engage with attorneys in Jamaica.
Right.
All right, so let's get into it. The first thing, of course, is to figure out who to represent you on your matter. Now, unless you had a previous exposure to a particular attorney or a particular firm of attorneys, you may very well be depending on the recommendation of a friend or a family member or some other entity whose judgment you trust. So that's a good place to start.
Right.
But ensure that this friend or this family member is somebody who has actually used the services of this firm or this attorney, and not just repeating a name that they might have heard somewhere. That's all. Just like any other professional, you want to get someone who has first-hand knowledge of that individual and that individual's service. So that's important. The second thing is to look at deciding who to use based on the area of law that your matter touches.
Yes.
So, For instance, if your issue is an intellectual property issue, then you'd be best served by someone who is trained in that area, who practices day in, day out in that area. That's probably who is going to give you
The
the
best
best result.
service. Yes.
Because, frankly, as you would appreciate, while we're all trained in the basic areas of law, some specialist areas does require specialist training. Just like any other profession, if you think of lawyers or any other profession, doctors, and so on, teachers, you want to ensure that the issue you have is being addressed by somebody who practices in that area.
Right.
All right, so that's important as well. So match the field of law with somebody who practices in that area. Then a very important thing that once you've decided on which firm or which attorney to use, usually that engagement starts with a consultation. This is where you actually get to sit with the attorney, usually in person, but in the age of advanced technology, this may be occurring in other ways, on the phone, by Skype, Facebook Live, all these other, as we're doing now, any means such as this that allows you to interact in a live setting with your chosen legal advisor.
Right.
Would allow you to engage. Now, once you have had that consultation, I should point out that some firms, some attorneys will charge and will advise you what the charge is for consultation. So it's important to just check what that is going to be up front.
Yeah.
Usually it's a per hour charge. Or in some cases, the attorney may decide that having undertaken the matter, they'll simply roll the consultation fee into their overall charge.
Okay. Which is different from a retainer?
Which could be part of what you would be covering once you have agreed on the retainer.
Okay.
I'll speak a little bit more about retainer in a little while, because some of your listeners will be familiar with the term, but we can speak on it a little more.
Right.
All right. So we start with that consultation. This is where you get to outline the exact details as you understand them about your issue, whether it's a land issue, a divorce, a criminal matter, whatever it is. You outline as much as you know about that case, all of the history, all of the related documents, including things that you may not think are particularly important. But once it touches or concerns that piece of land in question, any document related to it, a birth paper for somebody, an old deed, an old receipt from the bank, an old delivery slip, whatever it is that relates to that land or whatever the issue is you're addressing, make it available so that your attorney is in the best position, has the most information shared with them to be able to provide you with optimum guidance. You don't want to hold back anything, because this is the individual who is going to be guiding you and is going to be marshalling your matter all the way through to conclusion.
Hopefully.
No, it's all. So you are, yes. So that's you sharing information. Now, the other piece, which is equally important, is you getting information out of that attorney. Right. And so what needs to happen there is that you may very well need to ask a number of questions. There are many of us in the profession who will spend more or greater time explaining the process and the timelines and the expectations and so on. But if you find that while you are in that consultation, there are any gaps for you, you didn't fully understand this, you're not sure how long this process will be, what your total cost is going to be, ask questions. Don't, neglect to make use of your consultation time.
Right.
To get a full appreciation of what is involved. Right?
So I don't know why it is people are afraid to ask questions. They get off the phone and they go, the attorney didn't tell me this or they didn't tell me that. No, you didn't ask the
Right.
question.
Right. That happens very often, and it also feeds back into one of the rationale you're going to be using to assess who to use on your matter to begin with, which is
Right.
accessibility. In other words, how easily can I reach this person? How easy is it for me to speak to this person? Do I have to go through two receptionists, a telephone operator? Do I have to fit into a particular time span,
Mm-hmm.
which
Mm-hmm.
has to be between 12 noon and 3 o'clock, which may or may not be convenient for you?
Right.
So a number of those considerations would come into your ease, your comfort, the convenience, especially for someone who is uh, retaining an attorney from outside of Jamaica. So you're hundreds of thousands of miles away.
Mm-hmm.
Access is important to you. You want to know that this attorney that you're engaging will give you frequent updates. Will use the technology to the level that would suit you. So you'll get frequent emails. You can reach that person on their cell phone, WhatsApp, all of that. If those things are important to you, if you're good with getting an occasional letter in the snail mail delivered to your home address every 6 months or at the end of the matter, then that's fine. But many of us in this age want greater access to our professional providers. So,
Right.
that's something to consider as well. And naturally, some other considerations around who to choose is the person's known skill level, their experience, how long have they been practicing, not just practicing law, but practicing in that particular field that
Mm-hmm.
your matter is in.
Yes.
And then, perhaps the most vexed question at this stage is fees,
Yeah, that's the
the
one that
money.
caused problems.
Yeah,
That's the one right there that caused the
it
problems.
can, it can. And so it's important in that consultation, that very early interaction with the attorney, that you understand all of the fees, the costs, the charges that are going to be associated with your matter. And again, ask as many questions as you can. Ask it 2 times, 3 times, get it in writing, get it explained to you if it's not crystal clear.
Right.
Um, this is, for me, engaging any professional. As far as I'm concerned, this is me spending my money. I want to get full value out of it. And for those of us who take that approach, use up the opportunity to ask questions and satisfy yourself.
Right.
So, fees. Now, fees can be charged in different ways. Depending on the nature of the matter, an attorney may require you to pay fees on a job basis, meaning you're going to be conducting, let's say, a divorce, and having had a consultation and the attorney has a good appreciation of all the issues, that attorney can give you a good idea as to what your total fees will look like in that divorce. And they'll say to you, it's going to be, ma'am, sir, it's going to be X dollars. You're required to make a payment up front, whatever the arrangements are. So that's when you have what is loosely called a job basis payment, where you can clearly tell what the fees are going to be from day one on the basis of the consultation and the information that came out of it. Which is not to say
Mm-hmm.
that over time, as that matter develops, additional fees could not be accrued, because things can change as the matter develops. In that same divorce that you thought was going to be simple and that the other person was going to readily agree to, he or she may decide later on to challenge the divorce, which now
Of course.
involves greater, yeah, which would require greater work on the part of the attorney or the firm, and therefore more fees would be charged in some of these cases. Now, when we get to the question of fees, you also have to look at not just what the attorney themselves charge, but all the other financial exposures that you might face while dealing with this matter. And this could include charges.
Mm-hmm.
And costs. No, cost is important, and I can only skim over this for tonight because it's a whole subject on its own. But costs, for the most part, relate to awards that a court may make in
Mm.
respect of your your other party's legal costs. So let's say you took out a lawsuit against someone and you were unsuccessful. The court
Right.
could very well award costs against you, meaning you who brought the lawsuit would end up paying not only your attorney, but also the other party's attorney and any other costs that the court may award. So it's
So
important. I hope you got that.
you kind of really want to be confident in your case.
Right. You want to, yes, you want to be certain in your case and confident in your pocket as well, if I might take the
Well,
analogy there. To
yeah.
say that not only do you believe you can win, but you believe that even if you were to lose, this is what your likely exposure, your financial cost could look like, and this is how you could deal with that. Right? So that's going to be a dialogue between yourself and the attorney to say, what's my maximum exposure approximately that the court could award. Of course, if you are successful, then the cost very often goes the other way, where the other side pays your costs,
Right.
or the another option is that the court may decide to award costs to split costs between the two parties, and
But
so
that doesn't
each
always
party
happen though, does it?
bears their own. No, it doesn't always happen. In fact, it goes any of the three ways that I just mentioned. Cost to the claimant, cost to the defendant, or cost to each party.
Right.
Right? So there are those outcomes are all possible. But what you want to do, especially if you're a conservative individual and you want to plan your financial affairs ahead of time, is ask those questions, satisfy yourself as to what your potential cost could look like in a lawsuit or litigation scenario.
Yeah, that part is often overlooked when people decide that they're going to go to court. You know that
Yes, so it's very
it's all
easy to say, well,
emotional.
yes, we are, happens very frequently that persons, well, I have to sue them, they do me this and I have to sue them, not thinking of all of the implications of the action, even if you're successful. But very often, where the action is not successful, you would have incurred some costs, not just to pay your attorney, but other costs associated with the matter. So that has to be, you want to have your attorney explain that carefully to you so that
Right.
you're clear. There may be other incidental costs as well. If you have to send a document through express shipment, FedEx, whatever,
Right.
those
Overnight.
incidental costs. Your attorney may, on your behalf, have to engage an external professional. Maybe if it's a land matter, they may need to engage a valuator or a land surveyor,
Mm-hmm.
other professionals of that sort, depending on the nature of the matter that you're handling. You may need to engage someone. So those fees you also need to get some assessment of
Mm-hmm.
ahead of time so that you can plan your arrangements.
You know,
Yeah.
you mentioned the whole suing thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have been out of Jamaica for a while. Excuse me. So is it now more popular for someone to say they're going to sue in Jamaica? Because is it, I don't know if it was for a lack of faith in the court system
Mm-hmm.
or if it was just not knowing how the court system worked. But when I was growing up, a lot of people weren't talking about suing. That was a
Yeah.
foreign thing.
Right. So access to the courts has definitely increased in recent years. Many more people are seeking to resolve their issues in the courts.
Okay.
Uh, and yes, there are many more lawsuits of various types that are being brought to court
Okay.
and in that press, so sure.
Cool. That makes it really interesting. I've had
Right.
some fun time sitting in court in Jamaica. Just sitting in court. It
Yeah.
can be quite entertaining.
Just listening. Yes.
All
All
right.
right. So
Go ahead.
if there's time, I can just quickly touch on contingency fees and then finally retainer.
Okay. Well,
So let's just
10:28, kind of cutting it close, but
button it close.
yeah,
All right. So we'll pick that up next time. We can talk a little bit about contingency fees and what the retainer is, etc. All
cool.
right.
That works.
Yes,
That
sir.
works. All right. Thank you, Owen. Contact information once again, please.
Okay, sure. So the email is onkferguson at hotmail.com or onkferguson@gmail.com. Same address, just two different platforms. And my telephone number 876-840-5862. 876-840-5862.
Owen, before you run off, a call just came in. I don't know if this was supposed to be a live call. Good evening.
Oh, good evening. How are you?
I am good. Um,
Oh,
you
I was live.
you are very much live. How are you, Tracy?
I am good, my cousin. You doing well, I hope?
I am well. I am well. We're just wrapping up the legal segment,
Oh, okay.
and we're talking about connecting with a lawyer. So, were you trying to connect with this particular lawyer?
No, we were actually calling to give you an update on my conversation, but not on the air, though.
Okay, cool. All right, we'll talk later on.
We'll talk later. All right.
All right.
All right.
Yes, Owen.
Yeah, yes, Kev.
And so anybody wants to reach out to Owen, um, quick number to call 876-840-5862. You can WhatsApp him, you can text him wherever you are in the diaspora. So globally, just reach out to him once you have business conducting in Jamaica. And again, so the areas that you deal with, Owen.
Right. So my practice is property, divorce, wills, and intellectual property. Those 4 areas.
So he's not a criminal lawyer. Don't call him about your criminal case. But he can connect you with one.
Yes, we can recommend someone who can assist.
Right. All right. Thank you very much, bro.
Certainly, brother. You're welcome.
All right. Catch you
Always
next
a
week.
pleasure. All right. Good.
All right. We're going to take a quick little break. When we come back, it is continuing in our community show. And we have our guest this evening will be hailing out of South Florida. Federal court judge, Norman Hemming. So, for those of you who have questions about becoming a judge or want to know what a judge does, especially one of this nature, hey, this is a show to tune into. Of course, you can participate in the chat room, kevinstew.com. It's free, and you can be anonymous. So, that's also available to you. All right, we're going to take a quick little break. We'll come back, bring a friend, call somebody, go knock on their window, whichever way. Smoke signal, pebbles, whichever way. Just bring a friend, at least one. Cool. We'll be right back.
Pulse Media Group, innovative streaming and recording, has done it again. A new way to get your business in full view of your neighborhood consumer through AdShare TV. It's available in your neighborhood today. It's easy. Just call us 754-999-6020. Become a host today and place a TV monitor in a strategic location so it's easy to see. Get a 1-minute video ad or longer that plays anywhere in our network. Can't be a host? No problem. For a few dollars, we'll run your 30-second video ad. A host can run announcement specials like buy one get one free or discount ads. Let's turn your flyers into a 30-second video with music or a voiceover, or let us create and run your video ad with a spokesperson. Take advantage of our early enrollment discount. Join us today. Your ad will be seen at least 30 times per day in your AdShare TV neighborhood. It's easy. Just call us 754-999-6020. AdShare TV, part of Pulse Media Group.
JTMC Music presents the highly anticipated, much talked about, The Juggling Rhythm Volume 1. This classic rhythm takes on a new life with tracks from both established artists and introduces some incredible new voices. Get your dancing shoes ready with The Juggling Rhythm, featuring international reggae dancehall artist Mr. Vegas, alongside Ian Sweetness, Ed Robinson, Jack Radix, Hezron, Dangling, Joanna Marie featuring Galaxy P, Denny Ranks featuring Jawiz, Ambalik, Christine Alicia, Yishka. Also the new sensations on the rhythm: Zeal, Danger Lee, Marquis Skellenard, Zachary. Available on all digital media outlets. The Juggling Rhythm. Get it, get it, get it.
It's time to get live, it's time to get lit. Spiritually powered inspirational thoughts. It's time to spit. Join Sharon Corinthian and St. Patrick every Tuesday night from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on 96.3 IMG Radio as they bring you poetry at its finest, featuring some of the hottest spoken word artists from around the world. It will leave you touched, moved, and inspired. Tell a friend to tell a friend and join us for the show.
We're off to an early start for a long hot summer, but beat the heat with a dash of lemongrass refresher. This cool thirst quencher is a low-sugar beverage made from the fever grass plant, which has antioxidants, several wellness properties, and is a great lifestyle drink for all ages. Ah, that hits the spot. It's a new great taste. Have one today. Dash Lemongrass Refresher, distributed by Carib Atlantic Distributors. Call 954-614-0919. That's 954-614-0919. Life's a dash. Live well.
The award-winning Palace Peace and Love Academic Scholarship is appealing for your support to help educate one student at a time in Jamaica and the Caribbean.
Palace awarded 492 scholarships and several computers to university and high school students in Jamaica and the Caribbean over the past 7 years, valued at approximately 33 million Jamaican dollars, $250,000 US.
Importantly, our university graduates to date include 15 medical doctors, 10 lawyers, 6 engineers, and 15 fine arts students. Our goal is to award at least 105 scholarships in 2018.
Please partner with us to make this a reality for those well-deserving, hard-working students by making a tax-deductible donation online at www.palace1.org
or send a check to Palace, P.O. Box 5461, Alpharetta, Georgia 30023 USA, or telephone 770-744-2154.
Palace, preserving young minds for posterity.
Hey yo, this is Carman to let you know that right about now you are logged on to DJ Kevin Stew on the night shift. Don't move.
What a man said, if you're right on a friend, you don't hesitate to cut it off. And if you live, who to win a problem? Oh, hey, Mr. Judge, oh, yeah. And members of the jury, I'm begging you, please, 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 don't wrongfully persecute me. Well, I'm not innocent, but I'm not guilty of the crimes that you are accusing me of this time. Oh, well, if I fight me forget, give me 5, and if I 10 me forget, give me 10. Not take another man fat and fry me. Give me what due to me, give me what due to me. Well, if I like me forget, give me the life. But if I take me forget, give me the day. Not take another man fat and fry me. Give me what due to me. Well, them say all Jamaicans are juggies and bad man, so we no get no right in no foreign land. And them put a stigma upon all Rasta man. Them say every Rasta man come out as 70s young. Well, enough keep up slackness before we, but who keep up the slackness, them never know way. Them say we bad look, bad people grow away, but I just equal rights and no for sure way. So them is a judge, oh yeah, and members of the jury.
For those of you just joining in, welcome to the show. It's a night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. I think we call Community and Finance. It happens each and every Monday, 10 to midnight. On the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew, rockthebox.net, ClintonLinter.com, the Foundation Radio Network, BPR, Big People Radio, and One Harmony Radio over there in the UK. Top of the morning to you guys. The Sound of Conscience. The track is called Mr. Judge. This segment is brought to you courtesy of GMAC Music Solutions. You have an event, you need an audio system, you need an audio engineer, you need stage setup, lighting. 754-307 GMAC is the number that you want to call. 754-307-4622. Tell them Kevin Stew sent you. You'll definitely get the hookup. So, speaking of Mr. Judge, we just spoke to Mr. Lawyer, Mr. ONK Ferguson out of Kingston, Jamaica. And our special guest tonight. And just letting you know right now, sir, after tonight, you're no longer a guest. So you only get that one time. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Judge Norman Hemming.
Hi, good evening, Kevin, and good evening to the night shift listeners. Really is an honor to be on your program, Kevin.
No, the honor is all mine, you know.
No, trust me. You know, I started out my career working the night shift.
Did you?
Days of New York, yes. We called it the lobster shift. You know,
the lobster shift.
Right. So you worked from 11 p.m. at night doing arraignment of defendants until 7 a.m. the next morning.
What?
Yeah, because you know the courts in New York City are actually open 24 hours. As a result, you had to arraign defendants around the clock. So it was interesting. It was interesting because I would be asking for bail or remand on some defendants.
Right.
For the Manhattan DA's office. And then right after that, at 7:15, I'd be on a train heading up to the Bronx where I was living. And some of the guys who got out would be on the train with me. But back then, everybody understood that it wasn't personal, it's just business.
You know, that is something that I wanted to ask you about, you know, because when you're dealing in the court system, you have people that get off, and there are people that go off.
Right.
And I've often wondered about those that go off.
Wow. Yeah. So it happens, really good question, Kevin. But I think it happens less frequently, fortunately, for us. When I worked at the U.S. Attorney's Office here in South Florida, which covered everything from Key West north up to Fort Pierce, one of the cases that I worked on was a Medicare fraud case where ended up convicting the person for stealing $24 million from the U.S. government. Well,
Wow.
and that he has taken a lot more than that, but that's all we convicted him of.
Okay.
Well, it so turned out that after his conviction and after his sentence to prison, he took out, the defendant took out a bounty on my children's head.
You've got to be kidding me.
No, seriously. It's so weird because it's a medical doctor who did that, right? And so I prosecuted all of these drug dealers, dons out of Jamaica and stuff, but everybody understood. Look, I'm just doing my job. It's nothing. I don't have anything against them personally. But this doctor, a white-collar professional, is the one who takes out the bounty on my kid's head.
Wow.
So we ended up having some protection for a while until we were able to secure the people that he had paid and stuff. But it was just a little bit crazy. But fortunately, that's rare. That's rare that happens.
The mere fact that it happens at well, I guess every job has its hazards.
Right.
So
No. We don't.
This would fall under possible hazards of this job. Here you go.
Yeah.
The occasional threat on your life, on your family's life. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Well, I guess if you have a passion for that kind of thing, it would work.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. Unfortunately, my wife and my kids didn't have the same passion. but that's still stuck by me, and fortunately, it all worked out well.
Right.
Right.
Now, how does one get from being a boy in Kingston, Jamaica, doing what boys in Jamaica do, the occasional stone the neighbor's mango tree, and such alike, and everything that goes along with it. Shrimps and swims from the swimsman, and sports, champs at the sports at the stadium, and thing. How does one go from that boy growing up in Kingston, Jamaica, and the occasional thief out from school and go over Hope Gardens, but
all right. No, give me this a serious question. I don't know if I have a serious answer for you, but I'll tell you exactly what happened with me, though.
Okay.
So I grew up in Kingston. Grew up in Pembroke Hall.
Yes.
Right? 86 Annandale Avenue was my address. And grew up with a number of great guys in Pembroke Hall who used to play soccer. Of course, I'm big and fat, so I was a horrible soccer player. But I still tried,
Hey,
to get over the field.
you make up numbers.
Exactly. I was always the last one selected. But it's funny. We used to play ball down at the bottom of Pembroke Hall Drive. So Pembroke Hall Drive and Annandale Avenue and Aspalita Vale all converge on this big football field, and that's where we would play ball down there.
Okay.
And I went to Pembroke Hall Primary. And I thought, I had no idea what I wanted to do. But one thing that I did know is I had an uncle in Jamaica, Horace Patterson. And he was an attorney. And I remember, uncle, we were the poor side of the family, as you would imagine, right?
Okay, Pembroke Hall, yeah.
Money, right?
All right.
But whenever we used to come visit him, one of the first things I noticed was each child would be able to get a whole soda. But at home, we'd have to share a bottle of soda. We'd share for like 3 of us. But at his house, I could get a whole bottle of soda.
Just for you.
And a whole slice of butter and cheese. So one, that intrigued me. That whatever this profession is, seemed to be able to afford a whole bottle of soda. The other thing that I found out was that whenever in Jamaica, them say little people must stay with a big people conversation.
Right. Seen and not heard.
Exactly. So when we were at his house, we couldn't be in the room when the adults were speaking. But what I would do, I would sit at the kitchen door and listen to them speak. And one of the things that I realized in listening is that Uncle Horace was so smart. He seemed to always be the smartest guy in the room.
Mm.
And so I started musing about what it would be like to be an attorney, but I didn't think I'd be able to do it. And in fact, but my grandmother, who was this really praying woman, sorry I didn't get a chance to meet her, Kevin, but she sat us all down because there was 6 of us who were biologically belonging to her parents, and then my mom adopted 4 other kids for a total of 10. And
Are
grandma
you
sat
serious?
us all down. Yeah. My parents were crazy, right? And my mom was the most loving person in the world. But so grandma sat us down and grandma prayed for us, and she told each one of us what we would become, what she saw that God had for us. Now, I don't know, Kevin. Some people say that is just she put it in our head. That's why we went and did it. But when she came to me, she said, you're going to be a lawyer and a preacher. And it sounded weird, right? Because the two of them just don't seem to go together.
Yeah.
You know? And so after she told me that, and I must have been 10 years old at that time, just take the common entrance getting ready to go to JC.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, oh, okay, I guess this is what I'm going to be. Because all the older ones, my older brother, who grew up with grandma as well, Easton Reynolds, you know, who everybody knows as Peter, she said he was going to be a doctor, and guess what? He became a doctor.
Okay.
You know, she said Google, who I thought that was her real name, of course, turned out she was the Carla. But you know, Jamaicans have these nicknames. But the grandma said she was going to be in banking. She became a bank manager. You know, she said Angela would go into something to do with the sciences, especially chemistry. Angela today runs her own chemical company in Jamaica. So I said, oh, well, if these things seem to work out the way Grandma said they will work out, so I'm going to go along with what Grandma said.
Right.
I know it sounds dumb, but you listen to politics.
You know, I'm sorry I didn't get to meet her too, because I'd like for her to tell me what I was going to. She needs to tell me now what I'm going to grow up to become.
Right. So I left. Left JC at the beginning of the form. You know, when your parents leave. My parents were one of those who were running away from Jamaica foolishly. Right, they thought that Jamaica was going communist. My father was confident that was going to happen. So these are poor people in Jamaica running away from Jamaica was going communist.
Right,
which was pretty funny. You know, in any event.
Well, they got stories of Cuba, so
Exactly. So we ended up in the Bronx in New York in a 1-bedroom apartment, and my mother she continued what Grandma had done. She continued to tell us. My mom worked as a housekeeper in Long Island, New York, and she continued to tell me, look, go forward. Your grandmother said you're going to the law, so go ahead and do it. And so I went to I finished the last year of high school at Vander Childs High School in New York, which is on 800 East Gun Hill Road. It no longer exists, actually. It's now been divided into 3 schools.
Okay.
And I remember at that school, the counselor, when you meet the counselor to find out what you want to be when you go to college.
Right.
I told the counselor, well, I'm going to be a lawyer. And I remember the counselor looked me right in the eyes and he said, oh, you poor little child. No. Maybe at best you'll become a paralegal, but you'll never be a lawyer. Okay? But don't worry, that's a good job.
Seriously?
But because... Seriously, this is in New York, right? In 1981. And I'm thinking to myself, no, but I remember my grandmother told me I'm going to be a lawyer. So this counselor must be wrong.
Clearly, he didn't know your grandmother.
Exactly. So I started out at John Jay College of Criminal Justice, confident that I'm going to pursue this legal thing, not knowing who I'm going to pay for it, because my mother didn't have the money to pay for it. But she, like Grandma, prayed and she said, listen, God is going to get you through. After 2 years at John Jay, I transferred to Cornell University to finish my undergraduate degree in government and public administration. And then I applied and got into Howard University School of Law as a merit fellow. So as a merit fellow, they pay for your tuition and books, but they don't pay for anywhere for you to live. So when that time came, my mother, I told my mom, look, I have this merit fellowship thing. I want to go to Howard. I want to get a different understanding of education from being at Cornell. And she said, well, yeah, go to Howard, and God is going to provide somewhere for you to live. Can you believe that?
Just like that.
Just like that. So I literally went to Howard that day, walking up and down the halls when I arrived. Have nowhere to live. I have my grip, my suitcase,
Right.
and I'm walking with all the pictures of the graduates on the wall. And this guy, Andrew Carrington, walks up to me and introduces himself to me. He was he's about to begin his third year in law school. And he said, where are you living? And I said, I don't have anywhere to live. And burst out laughing and said, no, seriously. Where are you living? I said, no, seriously, I have nowhere to live. My mother said, I must come here. She gave me $300 in my pocket and she said, God is going to provide somewhere for me to live when I get here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so okay, well, you can live with me for a year because I have one more year here. You can live with me for that year. After that, you have to find somewhere to live. And literally, Kevin, that's how I started my first year of law school with a free place to live because of this guy, Andrew Carrington, who now runs a big firm out in Missouri. And eating rice with ketchup as my meal every day.
That sounds like a regular meal out of Howard University. Everybody.
But you as a Jamaican, it's good, right? It's normal.
Yeah.
You know?
Is it a rice and ketchup or ramen noodles? It sounds like a staple out of Howard. I don't know.
So it actually works out. It works out well. The second and third year I ended up living with another young man, Carlton Waterhouse, who became one of my best friends. He's now one of the associate deans at Indianapolis University.
Nice.
And so his dad bought him a 1-bedroom condo and literally came in with guys and built out a separate little place for me to sleep. Gave me a bed for the second and third year. That's it. That's the story of how you came out of Jamaica without having any idea where you're ever going to become a lawyer, and God working it out for me. And that was it, basically, in a nutshell.
So here it is. You were walking down the halls of Howard and looking at graduates' pictures on the walls.
Right. Yes.
Do you go back there to visit?
Still go back to visit. Yeah, at least once every 3 years, I try to go there and try to give back to the school because it means so much to me. You know what Howard has done for me. And however, if you listen to my friends, they will tell you that I love JC more than any other school. And it's true. It's really true. I don't have anything against other high schools in Jamaica. I love them all. But listen, JC just has a special place in my heart.
You know, you get a blind because of the blue. That's it. I'll just.
All right.
But when you go back now to Howard, and isn't your picture one of those pictures on the wall now when you go there?
Isn't that interesting? Yeah, it's on the wall.
How does that make you feel?
Oh wow, it is such a weird feeling to really look at it, and it's funny. I know it's weird because I'll go back and I'll touch the picture. You know, so is this really real? Did I really graduate from here? And I served, while I was there, I served as first year body president. Imagine this is a guy who's homeless, right? Serving as the first year class student president. And I ended up becoming the Student Bar Association president before graduation and also associate editor of the Law Review.
Okay. So apparently there are some things that you're not telling us. Because in order to get these titles, to get these positions, there has to be something going on academically that is quite pleasing to the powers that be.
Yeah. Kevin, I would say that it's pure buck-up. Because if you ask my wife, and she's very outspoken, she will tell you I was banana sense.
Well, you know, for those of us who have had the occasion of interacting with you outside of the robe, you know, one would say, is this really a judge? But there has to be something else going on. No, you are telling us that it's purely, for those of you who don't know what buck-up is, it's purely accidental. So you're just in the right place at the right time. Somebody needed to hold this position, and a few people just moved away, like the parting of the Red Sea, and you're the only one standing there because you didn't hear what's going
But
on.
okay, let me give the true. Okay, so divine providence, definitely.
Mm.
God has just been really merciful, right? And I've studied hard, right? And done and far exceeded my own abilities, in all honesty, because of Christ, and because of a mom who pushed me, and siblings who continuously helped me out, throughout all my time in school, and even after, you know. Every step of the way there was always something. I remember Kevin coming out of Howard Law School, and my first job was with the Manhattan Days Office I was talking about, with the lobster shift.
Right.
And at Kevin, I was, you know what I was earning in New York City? $30,000 a year, right? Now, if you've ever lived in New York City, you'll know that it's almost impossible to live in New York on $30,000 a year, especially when you
Really?
just get married. Yeah, right. One, you're getting ready to get married, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're living on $30,000 a year. So I remember I had to move back home after law school because I couldn't. I had bills that I had to pay, and I couldn't afford really to live anywhere on my own. And I was getting ready to get married to my wife, Carol.
Yes.
And so it's funny. Friends of mine from law school would call me, and I'm calling up the former student bar president and associate editor of the Law Review to ask, we're going to be up in New York in a couple of months. Can we come by and stay with you? And I always had to make excuses because I was so embarrassed, Kevin. I was with my mother. I was with my mother with the bug. You know? So honestly, when I say that God has just been merciful to me, it really has Him being merciful. And in fact, that same young man who gave me somewhere to live in the second and third year, so his dad, Carlton Waterhouse, he called me up after a number of years at the Manhattan Days Office, earning $30,000 a year. And he says, listen, I want to offer you a job at EPA in Atlanta, working as a regional criminal enforcement counsel. And so that's how I relocated there, more than doubling my salary that I was earning in New York. And for the first time being able to buy a home for my wife to live with me, and my child to have somewhere to call their own.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
And so that's again, that's your grandmother's praying over you, carrying you through still.
Oh, without a doubt. I have no doubt in my mind that that God is real and that prayers work.
Wow.
You know?
So anybody that has doubted it before, here's a story coming to you live and in living color.
Right.
That hey, God is real, and
Right.
all this is actually happening.
Exactly.
Now, let me see. Top of the hour. Normally I take a break. I just want to say humble apologies to everybody that is expecting the break right now because we're going to push through it. So, all my sponsors, big ups to you. I love you. GMAT Music Solutions, thank you for sponsoring this past segment. Actually, it's a segment sponsor change right about now. JTMC, I want to thank you, JTMC, for sponsoring this segment that we're moving into. See, this is how we do it. You know, when you're live, you just run with it.
Well done. Well done.
I thank you. I'm still learning this thing.
No, you are a consummate professional, and you clearly know exactly what you're doing.
Coming from you, that's a compliment. I thank you, sir. Comments in the chat room. Hashtag Happy says, I know I have questioned whether or not Norman is an actual judge. But I truly love his spirit. He always seems happy.
Right. Wow.
And it's true. Every time I see you, you're happy. Even when you present something serious, you still do it with this joy that comes from the pit of your soul. It seems it is such an infectious kind of happiness that you exude. It's amazing. I don't know how you do it. I don't know if it's because with so many siblings, somebody has to keep them entertained, and that job fell on you. I don't what how why how do you do it? Have you always been like this?
I think I've always been like this, but one of the things that I know is that you take your job seriously, but you should never take yourself seriously, and that's how I've lived my entire life, and that's I was fortunate to have two mothers, right? So besides my biological mom,
Yes.
there was another lady. Her name is Mabel Georgina Grant, good Jamaican woman, former teacher, who is out of St. Elizabeth. And Miss May, as I call her, she came to live with me, live with us as a family when I was literally just born. So she came to the hospital on the date of my birth, and she took me and she literally raised me in my mom's and dad's home on her own. And this is what she would always tell me. She says, "You take your job seriously, take education seriously, but never take yourself so seriously that you think you're better than anybody else, because you're not. Right? You'll still always just be Norman. You'll still always just be my son. And you should treat everybody, do all the good you can, to all the people you can, for as long as you can." So I find myself, even when I work as a prosecutor at the state level, a prosecutor at the federal level, I still did my job with joy. I still try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, even though I was building a serious case against them.
Right.
I still, try to make sure everybody felt as if they got a fair hearing, and that I was being fair to everyone. Because I would want people to be fair to me, be fair to my children, right? and be fair to my children,
Right.
and treat them in exactly the same way. So that's just how I treat people.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
That's how I'm treating people.
When
Yes, Kevin.
when okay, let's go back to you being a prosecutor.
Yes.
When you're looking at an individual, looking at a case,
Yes.
do you separate the individual from the case, or are they a package? Do they come
Right.
together?
So as a prosecutor, I definitely separate the person from the things that the person is charged. Sorry, from the
Okay.
things that the person is charged with. I
Okay.
separate the person from that, because I like to look at the individual as someone who God loves,
Yes.
who I love, and who has family members that love them in the same way that Miss May loved me, that Grandma loved me, and as my mother loved me. I want to treat them in that same way. No matter what the person has done, they're still deserving of respect. They're still deserving of me treating them in a fair and honorable manner. And so that's what I try to do. I don't always succeed, Kevin. I will tell you and the listeners, I don't always succeed in that, unfortunately.
Right.
But I try, right? And listen, thank God it's worked thus far for me,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm grateful for that. That's why I always try to go upbeat, in everything that I'm doing, because I like to be able to go to bed at night, and when I put my head down, be able to sleep and said, well, I've done justice, I've loved mercy, and I've walked humbly before my God in the way in which I've treated people in the workplace.
Yeah, because I had to ask that, because when people when you talk about a lawyer prosecuting a case,
Yes.
you talk about one defending said
Yes.
case, and
Right.
even if it seems blatantly obvious, the
Mhm.
defending lawyer has a job to do,
Exactly.
and their job is to argue the facts or the information being presented.
Right.
And I would often think that boy, lawyers left their conscience at home and go to work. They leave their conscience and go to work because there's no way somebody could say they want to defend a case like this when all the evidence is there to say that, hey, this person is guilty.
This is the thing, though. I strongly believe in the criminal justice system that we have throughout the British-speaking world, right? Because even the American system has evolved from Britain in terms of our legal system. And so because I believe in the system and the inherent fairness of it, I don't believe that lawyers have to leave their conscience at the door of a courtroom or at the door of their law office before meeting their client. Because everyone is presumed innocent until proven guilty.
Right.
And so even when I would go into a grand jury and I present a case to the grand jury and have the grand jury return an indictment against the person, and I would thereafter take the person to trial before a petit jury, I still looked at the person as a human first. I believe, because I brought the indictment, that the person is guilty. And when I'm in the courtroom and I'm presenting the facts and the evidence, I'm not laughing and I'm not a happy go-lucky Norman.
Right.
But I'm still, but I still exude joy, right? Despite not being the funny guy, right? In the room. Because, listen, jurors know if you're being authentic or not. All right? And I firmly believe that whether you're a defense attorney or you're a prosecutor, if you are not authentic before the jury, you've already done your client a disservice and you've already lost your case. All right? Just be you. Don't try to be anybody else. And that's how I've always lived my life and how I've always litigated. Whether I was doing civil litigation, because when I was at Main Justice in Washington, after I left as Regional Criminal Enforcement Counsel for the EP in Atlanta, I went up to Main Justice, the U.S. Department of Justice in D.C., and served doing civil cases in the north, everywhere from New Hampshire down to Delaware, on behalf of the Department of Justice. After 9/11, I transferred down here to the Southern District of Florida, in part because by that time we now had 2 children, my wife and I, and she was concerned.
It's safer in South Florida.
I was traveling. Exactly. She was concerned I was traveling all the time, and I wasn't spending any time with her or the children, which is true.
Right.
So her thought was, this is not what marriage is supposed to be or family is supposed to be. And she was, as always, my wife was always right. And so that's why I ended up with our choices were either Houston or here.
There you go.
Every man on the phone knows that their wife always right.
Right. every smart man. If you want dinner and a comfortable place to lay your head, your wife is always right.
Exactly. And so even here in the U.S. Attorney's office down here, where I served as special counsel to the U.S. Attorney, I still try to keep that same demeanor that I had in the Manhattan DA's office, that I had as a special counsel, that I had as a criminal enforcement counsel, the EPA, and that I had doing civil practice in Washington, D.C. When I came here. And once again, God was merciful. He promoted me through the various ranks in that office, and I ended up in the executive division. So I was one of the 5 people helping to run our office of over 230 attorneys here in South Florida for the U.S. Department of Justice.
Nice.
It was just a mercy prize.
For those of you just tuning in, voice you're hearing on the line that is not mine is Judge Norman Hemming, federal court judge, who happens to be able to spend a little bit of time with us tonight. If his background sounds a little bit noisy, he's on the run. No, not running from the law. He's out and about, and so please excuse any odd noises you may hear. It's not me, and it's not his fault per se.
In fact, Kevin, you can share with your listeners, if there are any praying people in your listening audience, I'd ask them to pray with me. I'm actually driving. I'm on my way to look for my brother-in-law who's just rushed to the emergency room. If you could just pray that, God's will be done in his life.
Yes.
Yes. And guide the hands of the doctors and the medical staff that treat him.
And definitely. And if you want to get a word into Judge Norman, 773-789-STEW is the number to call. 773-789-7839. You can call, you can text, and of course you can visit the chat room, kevinstew.com, and post your comments or your questions there. Now, moving from lawyer from presenting to the bench to being on the bench. Moving from lawyer to judge.
Yes.
How does hashtag happy says I will be praying. How does one make that transition? And then after you answer the question about how does one do it, then you can answer the question how does Norman do it? Because you're talking about two different doing it.
Right. Got you. All right. So how does one make the transition? Well, in terms of the mechanics of doing it,
yes,
there are many different judicial positions that someone could go for. All right. In terms of on the state level, most of those positions on the state level are positions that you would run for, like you would run in an election, be elected as a judge. Talking about the state of Florida, all right? And then the top court in the state of Florida, you would end up being nominated by the governor of the state of Florida. On the federal side of the house, there are different types of judges, right? So you have a United States District Court judge, and a United States District Court judge is a judge that's nominated by the President of the United States to serve in the lowest court, which is a district court, and confirmed by the United States Senate to serve in that position. Above that, you have the appellate court on the federal system, and it's a similar appointment and confirmation process. And then ultimately, the U.S. Supreme Court is the third tier, and that's the other way of becoming a judge, being nominated by the President, confirmed by the Senate.
Okay.
Now, outside of the U.S. District Court judges, which are called Article 3 judges, and it's called Article 3 because they're literally taken out of the U.S. Constitution. Article 3 of the Constitution that prescribes how that process works. The next type of judges that you have in the federal system are what are called magistrate court judges. And these magistrate judges are judges that serve a term of years, and they're the ones who run the arraignment court for the U.S. District Court, right? And they serve a period of years and have to be renominated after their term ends, right? They're selected, appointed by Judicial Nominating Committee, right?
Okay.
And they end up being selected by all the U.S. District Court judges sitting in a particular district would vote on which magistrate judge they want to serve, ultimately, all right?
Okay.
So they serve a period of years. Then you have a third set of judges within the federal system. So you have the district court, the magistrates, and then the third set of judges are what are called administrative judges. So they handle administrative law, right? And these administrative law judges, they either become administrative law judges through appointment by the president, but most of them, in all honesty, end up taking an exam, passing the exam, and then being selected by one of the federal agencies to serve as a judge within that
particular agency.
So for instance, exactly. So you could become a judge for the EPA, you could become a judge for Social Security, for Medicare, a judge for the Securities and Exchange Commission, right? And that's how that works, all right? And you have another set of judges that are bankruptcy judges. Their selection process is pretty much like the magistrate court that I described earlier.
Okay.
All right. How did I do it? Well, one is God, once again, I have to give him the honor. But at the end of the Obama administration, all of us who were working in the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Executive Division, we understood that we serve at the pleasure of the President of the United States. And so that an incoming administration, whether it was Democratic or Republican, it didn't really have anything to do with politics, would most likely remove you and put their own person in. That's just how the process works.
Okay.
That's how it's done. So some of us began looking for an exit, a way out, and I began looking for a way out. And fortunately, I was blessed to get the position with the Social Security Administration as an administrative law judge with them in the federal system. So it's a good position to be in for this reason. Although I miss handling the criminal cases,
Yes.
it's a great position to be in because I actually get to help people who are disabled, people who are in need of help in our society, and make decisions based on the level of their illnesses, based on the paucity of funds that they have available to them, on who is going to get benefits in the Social Security system. All right, I can't get into any particular cases, of course, you know,
Right.
but in general, that's how it works, and that's what I do.
Okay, cool. Now, that's the legal side of Judge Norman.
Okay, then.
And we've gotten a touch of the, I don't even know what to call that side of it. The regular Norman.
The regular side. The regular side of Norman.
But there is another side which goes back to what your grandmother said you were going to be. The preacher.
Preacher. Yeah, grandma was just really weird and amazing. Had to say all at the same time. So
you know, I've heard somebody say that about you.
Right. So of course, being a preacher is something that I ran away from. You know,
Really?
because I thought, you know, I said, grandma just got this one wrong. She got the lawyer part right, but this whole preacher thing is really
Not
for the
you.
birds. Right. Exactly. Because I certainly am not good enough to serve the Lord in that kind of capacity. And so but every time I tried to run away, it seemed that God would just suck me back in. So I remember when we moved when I was working in DC, we were living outside of DC in a place called Stafford, Virginia. And I used to what's called, I don't know if your listeners are familiar with this, I used to do something that's called slugging. And what slugging is informal hitchhiking to get to work in DC from Virginia.
Really?
Right. So I think it's called sluglines.com. So what happens is that heading north out of Virginia, as far south as Richmond, all the way into DC, at every exit heading north, there are what are called slug lines. And so we, the people who are seeking rides to get into DC, are called slugs. Right, I was a slug.
Okay.
And the drivers would stop at one of these exit ramps heading into DC and pick us up. The reason that they would pick us up is that the HOV lanes heading out of Virginia into DC had HOV 3 requirements. So they would need 2 passengers to accompany them to get in. And if you know anything about the traffic, if you think traffic in Miami in South Florida is bad, traffic in DC is equally horrible.
I've heard
they would need us. So they would pick us up. There were rules for the slugs, of course. The slugs you couldn't speak unless spoken to by the driver. You couldn't eat in the car or drink, and you couldn't read the newspaper unless you were authorized by the driver to read the newspaper. In any event. So we ended up living in Stafford, Virginia, right, because it's where we could afford at the time.
Yes.
And I started attending a church in part because my kids, my wife started working for the church in their preschool, and my children, when they went there, they loved it. So, you know, wherever the children love in church, a lot of times parents get drawn into that church.
Yeah, that's where you end up.
Right. So I'm running away from this preaching thing. And the pastor of the church, Dr. Crick at the time, says, no. You know, the Lord has a calling on your life. And I'm like, oh my gosh, he must have spoken to my grandmother. You know, and he says, no, you need to go to seminary. So, you know, and so I don't know how he convinced me, but somehow between the Lord and him, I ended up going to seminary in Stafford, Virginia, at Shiloh Theological Seminary, and getting a degree and graduating from there. And from then on, the trajectory in the ministry just took on a life of its own. I initially started serving as a youth pastor there in Stafford, Virginia. And then when we relocated here to Florida, We were actually attending Christ the Rock Church because that's where my children like. Because they had like a lot of video games and stuff. I remember back then when we first moved here. But then my wife's uncle passed away, and the family asked me to do the eulogy.
Yes.
And so, and that funeral service was held at Cooper City Church of God. And that's why I ended up going to Cooper City just to do the eulogy. And the pastor there said, who was Dwight Allen at the time, and he said, listen, the Lord has a calling on your life, and I need you to be here at this church. so I ended up
But your grandmother made some rounds before she checked out, didn't she?
It seems that way. It seems that way. And so he ended up appointing me to serve on the pastor's council and I continue to serve on that pastor's council to this day at Cooper City Church. It's unpaid, I'm not paid there, but it's something that I'm passionate about. I love it. I love serving on the council. I love helping others. I love doing funerals and weddings, and it's perhaps the most, the people at Source Grade Administration are listening. It's the most fulfilling part of my life. Besides our family.
So you're not paid financially.
Right.
You're not paid monetarily, but the reward is great.
Yeah. You know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know exactly what you're talking about.
Hey, believe me, in more ways than one, and there are a few of our listeners that are close to me that would know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he knows what you're talking about.
Wow. Trust me. Yes. But Kevin, I hate to do this to you, but I think I'm going to have to exit the line only because I see my sister calling.
Yes.
And I haven't got to the hospital yet. I'm still driving.
Okay.
So let me see what's going on. I apologize to you. I apologize most important to your listeners. But hopefully we can reconnect again and do something later on.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Like I said,
all right.
It was only this time that you're a guest. After this, you're a family member. So.
Definitely, Kevin. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you very much, Judge Norman. Take care.
All right.
And we'll be in touch.
Thanks a lot. All right, then. Always a faithful listener, to your program. All right, God bless you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. God bless. And prayers going up for your brother-in-law.
Thanks a lot.
All right, take care. Ladies and gentlemen, what can I say? Judge Norman Hemming. If ever you have to appear before him, that probably will not be the personality that you will be encountering, but in a professional capacity, as a judge, but as a preacher, as an MC, as just your regular Joe Schmo on the road, it doesn't get any better than this. Well, probably he could have taken up comedy. I don't know. It could have been easy, but Grandma did not say you're going to be a comedian. So that wouldn't have worked out for him. Preacher and lawyer. Took the law one step further, went and became a judge. Check him out. You can Google him. Yeah, most of us are Googleable these days. You can Google him. Judge Norman Hemming. No S. Hemming. Yes. 26 minutes after the hour, I guess we can take a little break. So we'll take a quick little break now, one that we didn't take before. So it may be a little bit longer than. And then we can go into our musical therapy. Believe it or not, it is that time. Who knew? Time really flies when you're having fun, doesn't it? And this has been a whole lot of fun. We're going to take a quick break, like I said. Come back. We still get to ease out of the night. Off the night shift week with community and finance. Financially, what do we get out of this? A whole lot of smiles. Can you pay for that? I don't think so.
Quality Media Group, innovative streaming and recording, has done it again. A new way to get your business in full view of your neighborhood consumer through AdShare TV. It's available in your neighborhood today. It's easy. Just call us 754-999-6020. Become a host today and place a TV monitor in a strategic location so it's easy to see. Get a 1-minute video ad or longer that plays anywhere in our network. Can't be a host? No problem. For a few dollars, we'll run your 30-second video ad. A host can run announcement specials like buy one get one free or discount ads. Let's turn your flyers into a 30-second video with music or a voiceover, or let us create and run your video ad with a spokesperson. Take advantage of our early enrollment discount. Join us today. Your ad will be seen at least 30 times per day in your AdShare TV neighborhood. It's easy. Just call us 754-999-6020. AdShare TV, part of Pulse Media Group.
Matthew 28:19 says, "Go ye therefore and teach all nations." With this in mind, and encouragement received during a South Florida media conference, The Church Links was birthed. The Church Links is an interdenominational worship service portal for churches, providing the tools to spread the word through technology in a cost-effective way. The Church Links, www.dahchurchlinx.com. Your links to worship and praise.
JTMC Music presents the highly anticipated, much talked about, The Juggling Rhythm Volume 1. This classic rhythm takes on a new life with tracks from both established artists and introduces some incredible new voices. Get your dancing shoes ready with The Juggling Rhythm, featuring international reggae dancehall artist Mr. Vegas, alongside Ian Sweetness, Ed Robinson, Jack Radix, Hezron, Dangling, Joanna Marie featuring Galaxy B, Denny Ranks featuring Jawiz, Ambalik, Christine Alicia, Yishka. Also the new sensations of the rhythm: Zeal, Danger Lee, Marquis Skelenar, Zachary. Available on all digital media outlets. The Juggling Rhythm. Get it, get it, get it.
It's time to get live, it's time to get lit. Spiritually powered inspirational thoughts. It's time to spit. Join Sharon Corinthian and St. Patrick every Tuesday night from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on 96.3 IMG Radio as they bring you poetry at its finest, featuring some of the hottest spoken word artists from around the world. It will leave you touched, moved, and inspired. Tell a friend to tell a friend and join us for the show.
Hey, I'm representing for DJ Kevin Stew, working on the night shift, radio show. Won't go changing like the weather, just to please the devil never. Will DJ Kevin Stew sell his soul? That's a word and honor. Christine representing word and honor. Celestia DJ Kevin Stew. No pain, no fire up in the sky will change my vision from my eyes. I won't go stumbling like the others who has gone before me. Never will I leave my pride. That's my shining armor. Yeah, yeah. Won't go changing like the weather just to please the devil. Never will I sell my soul. That's my word in honor. Yeah, yeah. Cause for what it's worth, I'm holding. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Much better than them, no. No giving to them. No, no, no. And show all the pain. Keep fighting. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
want to welcome you guys to the musical therapy. You know, you two in the chat room. That is for Wednesday's show. That's not for tonight's show.
No pain, no fire up in the sky, no. Will change my vision from my eyes.
The sound of Crescenti. Word and honor. I don't know what kind of words are being exchanged right now in this chat room.
I won't go stumbling like the others who has gone before me. Never will I leave my pride.
And to whose honor
Never,
and privilege.
Won't go stumbling like the others just to please the day.
Oh, so it won't be his birthday on Wednesday. So because it's his birthday today. Well, you know, that's the joy of having an Earth date. This segment of the way of yeah, I only have a few minutes left. This segment of the night shift is brought to you courtesy of the Wake Up and Live show. Sir Rockwell comes to you 7 a.m. till 11 a.m. Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. On Wednesday and Friday, he goes until 12. You know, I have a song for you too. And I want to say thanks to Shauna for putting this together, because if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be able to play this. The sound of Shauna Dazzle.
I'm waiting for you. I'm gonna be bad tonight. Broke out tonight. Make you see my
As Marlon celebrates his third today Earth date.
tonight. So enjoy the ride. I'm gonna be bad tonight. Broke out tonight. Make you see my other side. Yes, I'm in the mood tonight. To be rude tonight.
Well, yours only lasts for 30 days. Mine lasts 40 weeks.
I'm feeling so fine, waiting for you to come over. Watching the time with you on my mind. It's gonna be a night to remember. We're on the phone, but I'm feeling alone. It's good to know you got the cure. I hope you'll be here real soon, 'cause I've got a lot in store. And boy, it's my intention to
That's right, Marlon.
give for more. I'm gonna be bad tonight, broke out tonight. Make you see my other side. Yes, I'm in the mood tonight to be rude tonight. So enjoy the ride. I'm gonna be bad tonight, broke out tonight. And make you see my other side. Yes, I'm in the mood tonight to be rude tonight. Tonight is the night. We'll just enjoy each other like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah, Marlon, let's know for that call here.
Girl, I'll make time for you 'cause you're special. And you're always on my mind. I can see that you're not happy.
It's not because you're our best friend. The son of Hopeton Linda. Hopeton the pen. Lindo.
You said that I'm your best friend and I'm honored to be the one in your corner. But temptation is getting the better of me as my feelings.
Man, I like how you blame Melody for that.
Say that I'm your best friend and I'm honored to be closer than a brother. But I really don't know if I can keep this up much longer. You keep thinking you can change it, but you're just a prisoner of love. You're complaining but you refuse to tell yourself that enough is enough. You said your life needs rearranging and you want to get closer to me. Well, you've got to make your decision, 'cause I don't wanna be a victim of jealousy. You said that I'm your best friend and I'm honored to be the one in your corner. But temptation is getting the better of me as my feelings for you get stronger. You say that I'm your best friend and I'm honored to be closer than a brother. But I really don't know if I can keep this up much longer. You said it's like a roommate, ain't nothing going on. Why punish yourself and keep holding on? You deserve to be loved and comforted, someone to keep you warm. You say that I'm your best friend and I'm honored to be the one in your corner. But temptation is getting the better of me as my feelings for you get stronger. You say that I'm your best friend and I'm honored to be closer than a brother. But I really don't know if I can keep this up much longer.
You know, there's a reason why he can't keep it up much longer, you know, because looking on and being there and recognizing who that person is,
Said I like the way you love.
Make him ready a long time.
I like this.
It's on a Jack Radix
Like that.
from the Juggling Volume 1.
Listen, I just like the sun you take the dew away. Yes, in twilight time, when stars come out to play, it makes me feel like a wonderful thing is growing. My cup running over with the knowing, yes, child. When you say my name, my heart starts bubble up, baby. There ain't no touch that is the same. I wanna cuddle up with you now. And I hope that you're inclined.
I hope that you're inclined so we can get reclined.
Long time.
Because I'm ready a long time.
Back long time. Need that love ready back long time. Yes, ready back long time. Cause you got me. Yes, unspeakable pain. You got me.
Right, Marlon, I know.
It's not undeniable pain. You and I belong together. My honey, you know that you just can't beat my love. Well, alright now, baby, and there's no one else that loves me better. Yeah, you got what I need. It's all I'm dreaming now. Yes, now. And when you say my name, my heart just a bubble up, baby. There ain't no touch that is the same. I wanna cuddle up with you. Yes, and I hope that you're inclined so we could double up, cause we're ready back long time. We're ready back long time. Baby, we're ready back long time. Ready back long time. So you come and hold me, hold me, hold me, hold me, hold me.
Took a walk and past your house late last night. All the shades of cold and drawn.
Marlon, you were invited to look with one eye. This one is for you.
Silhouette, silhouette, silhouette. Silhouette, 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 silhouette. Put her arms around your waist, held you tight. Kisses I could almost taste in the night. Wondering why I'm not the one whose silhouette's on the shame. I couldn't hide the tears in my eyes. Silhouette, silhouette, silhouette. Silhouette, 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 silhouette.
You can look, Marlon.
She said, no, you can't look but Natasha. No, she said, no, you can't look but Natasha. No,
Yeah, you can't stalk, but you can look.
sweet lady, I wanna say something politely, and I hope you don't misunderstand me. Can I hold your hands? She said, no, you can't love her. Sweet lady, sweet lady, your body is driving me crazy. You just don't know what you're doing to me. Just wanna hold your hand. But she said, no, you can't look but Natasha. She said, no, you can't look but Natasha. Hey, no. She said, no.
You know, Marlon, it's funny. Both of you said the same thing. I knew this was coming.
Try me, I try, but she not give me no blind. Tell her because of her, me just can't sleep at night. Tell her if she love.
What a way to start off the night shift week.
Tell her we may buy her anything that she like. And if you keep her happy, I make greatest delight. But that's how me get to know, say I me, she a spite. She tell me, say me ex-girlfriend, say me lie. Now every day she passing a day.
Yeah, Earth Day greetings. Going out to my brethren Marlon Burrell,
Sweet lady,
host of Real Rockers.
I just wanna say something polite.
But I have another friend celebrating her birthday today.
You don't misunderstand.
Earth Date today.
No, baby, I just wanna hold you.
And for the last 13 minutes,
She said, no,
well, at least a portion of it,
you can't try. Hey, lady, sweet lady, you
and play some of his music.
make waves. Driving me crazy. You just don't know what you're doing to me. Oh, no, baby, I just wanna hold your hand. But you said no, you can't look but Natasha. She said no, you can't look but Natasha. No.
My life is brilliant. My love is pure.
This is the sound of
I
Cesar
saw an angel,
celebrating an Earth Date today.
and I'm sure she smiled at me on the subway
Blessed Earth Date to you, my brother.
with another man. But I won't lose no sleep on that, 'cause I got a plan. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. You're beautiful, it's true. I saw your face in a crowded place, and I don't know what to do, 'cause I'll never be with you.
Marlon, I always try to make it different the way I greet people for their special occasions. Because it was real difficult not doing the social media thing. But I made it through. I like the personal touch. Yeah, I know I could have called you. But sometimes I like to brag about it.
Cause I'll never be with life, let me tell you what the case is. Some people got bad hands, some people got aces, some people got diamonds, and some people got spades. Still the world keeps moving on. You got the kings and queens and jacks of all trades, and the rest make up the numbers trying to get paid.
One more Cesar for you.
As a group cooperating and some just doing wrong.
This is called Keep On.
Walk on the club but they're just pretending, drinking and living it up, now no time for thinking. If the money ever done they be quickly sinking, but they just keep grooving on. No matter who you are, you got to keep on trying and keep doing your best with the hand that you get. And don't
Glad you like it, bro.
no, you can't stop, you can't weep, can't keep on crying. Just keep doing your best, you know life is a test. It's gonna be alright. Some people living in a full house with one bag of youths, making it hand to mouth, and you know that's the truth. But the loving of them heart is a food substitute, and they make it all true. Now about you, if you're born without a gold spoon, there's no time to waste. Cause the road is rocky and winding, make haste. While you're bending them corners, my youths, you stay straight and just hold the faith. You'll make it through the gate. Don't get lost in the crush. If you stumble, don't drop. Don't you flush all your dreams if the journey gets tough. At the ending of the day is your face with going touch, and he knows the flop, so you don't give up. No, you got to keep on trying and keep doing your best with the hand that you get. And don't give up that fight. No, you can't stop, you can't weep, can't keep on crying. Just keep doing your best, you know life is a test.
Do your best, life is a test. Do not give up.
You'll reach and rule your destiny.
It's his birthday.
Work hard, dig deep, and soon you'll reach and rule your destiny.
On his show earlier, Marlon paid tribute to some other people celebrating Earth dates today.
To get up and get what you want, in order to achieve, you got to take the chance.
I give him tribute to Marlon and Cesar.
You can make all, you grow your dreams, as if life is a feeling which you plant the seed. You cultivate it into your reality, then reap the fruits of being who you want to be. Work hard, dig deep, and soon you'll reach and rule your destiny. Work hard, dig
7 minutes to the top of the hour.
you'll reach and rule your destiny. In all you do, just know that Jah is there and He will help you through. He called you by your name when you was in the
Which means it's about 5 minutes before I get out of here.
you reach the tomb because the world is ours. Don't let there be a thing you got nobody for. Don't even got the rich because you feel you're poor. Cause riches from within will bring you even more. Work hard, dig deep, and soon you'll reach and rule your destiny. Work hard, dig deep, and soon you'll reach and rule your destiny. Put a hard every day so till you want run away. You want find a way to get out of the rain. But we say one hold the faith till sun come again. Be strong as African blood I run through your vein. Put a hard every day so till you want run away. You
the money, give me half of that. Me coulda do it for the hype, but me rather not. You give me joy if you write rhyme pan beat. Lay down like white line pan street. Music sweet, I just like one treat. Drop it hotter than island heat. Yeah, me with the island floor. It coulda be digital, I don't know. Hear some people say I don't go. Tell them one on time go show. Kick it like a balotelli. You say me look better pan a telly. Give me the word and me.
I want to thank you each and every one for tuning in and hanging out tonight.
My chop it a chop. When me finish if it a drop.
This is Sound of Coffee.
But when I sit on a flat and a top. I do reggae music, cause in the commotion. When the music
track called Ragamuffin.
Ocean wide. Alright. Hear me up the waves, never stuck in the ocean. Coffee of his style, them smoother than a lotion. Why? I know everybody got the keys, but me have it with me seat. Give Caesar what for Caesar, give the youth them a feature. What I go on to Jamaica, Parliament on the paper. Forget the youth and the cater, that's why the country is safer. Here say the guns them pile out here, here not much make a smile out here. Here say the youths them wild out here, money can't run for a mile out here. Here say the government vile out here, get a tears long of an aisle out here. Youths are turning a last mile out here, that's why them send here.
Not everybody have coffee to wake up, Marlon.
Coffee me life on the street, me have 5 feet but me sharp like teeth. Coffee me name so I'm bound with heat. Me take the heat and me melt to the ice in a politician. I made them start pay price, juvenile match out enough like plain rice. Go for any politician when I play nice. I do reggae music, cause in the commotion. When the music hit me, coming like a potion. Why? Alright. Hear me up the waves, never stuck in the ocean. Coffee have a style, them smoother than a lotion. Why? That eat your heart like a cake. We culture strong like a leather. Pound Wally B with the cheddar. Music a shot like a matic. Traffic a block when we at it. We not soft like no TC, so ask them know what it is.
Now I fall asleep, thoughts of you linger around in my head, and I'll never be the same again. You make me feel like somebody else.
This is it, folks.
Open up my eyes and I feel your body so close to mine. In your arms I wanna melt away. Ooh, I feel like
this is how we're bouncing out on the Baltimore Refix.
your touch made them for real. Boy, you take me to heaven.
This is Tina Nunez.
Got to know the deep.
Track called Nice and Slow.
Tell me forever, from tonight until the end of time. Or will it be a little too
And as you go to do whatever you're gonna go do now,
ask you every day to do me nice and slow, so deeper you go.
whichever way you want to do it, you do it.
Give it to me nice and slow. Don't wanna let
I'm Marlon R.A. for the remaining 2 minutes of your Earth date. Well, the beginning of it anyway.
I really love how you give it to me.
Just take it nice and slow, yeah? I'm out of here. Catch y'all tomorrow. Real talk. No, not real talk. Healthy Love Tuesday.
When you're much too far away from me, I will never
Take care, peace and love. Until tomorrow, 10 Eastern, 10 p.m. that is.
me now, so in a hurry.
I'm out of here.
Real thing.
Good night, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Good day.
Come and help me touch myself. Chemistry that we have isn't suppressible. Love you give makes me feel like I'm invincible. I'm addicted, I can't stop this. And baby, there's no other man who could take me to paradise and put it on me quite like you do it. Nice and slow, so deeper you go. I really love how you give it to me. Nice and slow, don't wanna let go. You take me somewhere that I've never been. Nice and slow, so deeper you go.
The moment is priceless. Consider the ability to share that moment. If you can video it, you can broadcast it. And Pulse E-Media Group has the tools you need. Weddings, birthdays, funerals, graduations, church services, parties, seminars, you name it. Pulse E-Media Group can provide you with a secure medium controlled by you to broadcast your event. Contact us at www.pulseemediagroup.com for more information. Pulse E-Media Group, when being in the moment is priceless.
Thank